I'm ready.
Fantastic. Hello, welcome to the Chrysler Center. You are listening live to WCBN Sports. I'm Adam Bressler, joined by Jack Manka. How are you doing tonight?
Excited to be here, Adam. I think we're in for a really exciting match between these two teams. The Chrysler Center is lively. The Maze Rage looks ready to go. The players look ready to go. I hope we have an exciting matchup. It's a big one for the Wolverines and an opportunity to finally get a marquee win that they desperately need this season.
Is it fair to say that this one is do or die for the Wolverines?
It might be. It absolutely might be. And they've got another tough test right after this. They have Ohio State this weekend. So this series of games is absolutely crucial for the Wolverines.
Yeah, it's a tough back-to-back. They got the number 3 ranked Purdue Boilermakers at home at 9 p.m. tonight on Thursday. Just a day of rest, and then they face off against Ohio State on Saturday. And that'll be against, they are the 16th ranked team in the nation. So Michigan just isn't getting a break. Right now they're in the middle of the Big Ten, 7th seed. So every team, as a reminder, does make the Big Ten tournament, but depending on the seeding, determines whether a team gets a bye and the matchups. But Michigan is right now on the bubble of making the NCAA tournament. Joe Lenardi, in his most recent bracketology post, had Michigan as one of the first 4 out. So a key win tonight might be what's needed to put a thumb on the scale and push them in.
Yeah, they are really fighting for their tournament hopes right now. And yeah, this is a tough stretch for the Wolverines, and it comes at a tough time after a game where they didn't look particularly exciting against Penn State. But the other way to look at it is it's an opportunity for Michigan. They don't have many big wins on the resume. They have a couple Big Ten wins on the season, but nothing that's really going to push that resume towards being something that's really appealing to the tournament committee. So if they can get a couple big wins at home against one of them being their rival and one of them being a top 3 team in the nation, that, like you said, could be exactly what the Wolverines need right now.
And being a little bit of an optimist here, Michigan, this is the second time playing Purdue in under a week. They played them on the road in Lafayette on Saturday, and it was a much closer game than I think many fans were expecting. Michigan ended up losing only by 6, and that was actually a little bit inflated too with some fouls at the end there. And that's on the road, so it's always tough to beat a team twice in the season, even tougher twice in a week. And this time it's at home. If Michigan has any optimism there, that might be enough to put them out on top on this one.
Yeah, I think that's what I would go with for Michigan as the one reason they should really feel like they have a legitimate chance to beat Purdue. And not that I don't want to say that to dismiss their chances. It's a home game at a time that's a really crucial stretch in their season. So I'm sure they're absolutely motivated for a game like this. They know what's at stake. They're going to come ready to play. And like you said, it's the second time in a week that they've gotten Purdue. They've seen them. There is no doubt that Michigan is going to have a chance to win this game. But it is a tough test ahead of them. Purdue is really talented. Jaden Ivey's one of the best players in the nation. They've got size to match up with Dickinson, with Zach Edey. This is a really tall task for Michigan. We should be in for a good game. I'm excited.
So we do have the starting lineups for both teams. We got Devonte Jones, Caleb Houston, Eli Brooks, Musa Diabate, and Hunter Dickinson for the Wolverines. And then the visiting Purdue Boilermakers, Eric Hunter Jr., Jaden Ivey, who's been absolutely incredible this season, Sasha Stefanik, Mason Gillis, and Zach Edey. So that will be the visiting team. Michigan would need a huge win here. I don't think many fans are expecting a number 3 team coming into the Chrysler Center, especially this season. Michigan has certainly, I don't think it's any stretch to say they've underperformed expectations this year. Coming in, they were, I believe, 4 in the preseason rankings, had some big high-profile recruits, including Caleb Houston, who I think many fans would say did not exactly pan out. I think same with the grad transfer Devonte Jones. They were expecting another maybe Mike Smith situation. Unfortunately for the Wolverines, not quite as powerful as Smith was last season.
Yeah, and it's come down to a couple things for the Wolverines. Obviously, they had such high hopes, and to be where they are, it's not just one thing. It's a multitude of problems. But like you said, Houston has not been the offensive spark that they hoped he would be immediately coming out of high school. He's gone through stretches where he hasn't been able to make shots, and that's been a big problem for the team. And like you said, Jones just hasn't clicked quite as well. The offense doesn't look like it did last year with Mike Smith. Things just haven't quite worked out as well for the Wolverines as they'd have hoped. But that being said, if they, with where they are in the season at this point, if they can sneak into the tournament this year and maybe win a game or two, you know, I'd say at this point in the season, you'll take what you can get.
Yeah, so now we got Dickinson versus Zach Edey for the Boilermakers, taking the tip. Won by Purdue, hits it right back to Hunter Jr., distributes on over, and taking his time now in the backcourt. Michigan playing full court press here. Finally passes half court, takes it out to the key, distributes over to Gillis. Trying to transition, 12 on the shot clock, driving towards the basket, has some contact, goes up for a shot, and that one's in. 2-0 Purdue, and that's an early lead for the Boilermakers.
And that was Ivy just showing his strength there early. He's done that all years. He just muscled his way through the paint. That's an easy two for him.
Yeah, Ivy's been so dominant, averaging close to 18 points per game. His Wolverines begin with their first possession. Dickinson has it on the right side, driving towards the basket, a bit of contact, and a whistle is called. So that's on the floor, but Dickinson goes to the ground, and we get the first foul of the game.
You like to see them feeding Dickinson early. That's been a key for them all year long. When he's hot, and there goes Edey. That's what the Maze Rage is applauding, as Edey will leave the game with his first foul.
That is quick. It's 19-22 in the first, so all ready to have him out. Instant pass in over to Houston. Fake move, puts it up, no good. Dickinson gets a rebound, up and in! Dickinson puts it in for 2 points and ties it up here in Ann Arbor.
Strong board by Hunter Dickinson there on the nice action to get a good shot for Houston. That was good offense.
So now we got Purdue taking it back. Gillis over to Stefanovic. Loose ball, let's see, Michigan can't grab it now. Purdue hangs on. Pick Hunter Jr. goes up for a pass, goes out of bounds, and it's tipped off of Michigan. So Boilermakers will stick it, but a good heads-up play by Jones, almost forcing a turnover from the Boilermakers.
Nice recovery and fast hands, and the energetic defense has the student section alive early. They're amped for this one.
Oh yeah, inbound pass, quick shot by Gillis, and that's in. 4-2, Purdue takes the lead. 18:44 left in the first. Michigan takes it down the court. Houston goes up for a jumper, and that one's in. Pardon me, Devonte Jones makes it. And now Michigan is seeming to match everything Purdue brings to the table. Already tied at 4, almost 2 minutes into this game. We got distributed into the corner, Purdue has it. Trying to bring it towards the net. Williams getting his first minutes now. On Dickinson, goes up for a deep jumper, no good. Rebounded, however, by Gillis. Passes it on out to Hunter Jr. Finds Ivy up at the key. Back over to Williams, sets a pick for Ivy. Goes towards the basket, goes up for jumper, blocked by Dickinson. 5 on the shot clock, rebounded by Purdue, and that's gonna be a double dribble, and it'll go towards Michigan's ball.
And that is a huge play early in this game, a big block. Hunter Dickinson swatting emphatically the Jaden Ivey shot.
And that'll be the first possession of the game that either team has not gotten a point or basket. And it's already 2 minutes in, 17:53 remaining. We got Jones taking it slow down the court. Up at the key, tight man, pass to Diabate, and a slam dunk! That gets the crowd going, and Michigan takes the lead 6-4.
What a feed from Jones on that. Look down low to Diabate, and Diabate wasted no time. Strong finish.
Yeah, deep 3 for Purdue. No good. Up in the air and rebounded by Michigan. Jones has it. Passes over to Brooks. Brooks passes, goes up for a three, good! Houston gets a three, and Michigan has all the firepower right now.
That is just what they needed to start this game. Quick 9 points in the first 3 minutes.
7-0 run for the Wolverines as Purdue's looking to stop the bleeding. Williams in the paint, one-on-one on Dickinson. Goes up for a jumper and a foul and one. That gets the crowd cheering. First foul of the game for Dickinson. First team foul for the Wolverines. And that'll make it 9-6 with a and 1 point coming on the way.
And you saw Edey leave the game early, but that is why they're able to do that, because Trayvon Williams comes off the bench, and he is as dominant as any coming off the bench. Definitely in the Big Ten. He was a Player of the Year candidate in his Purdue career in recent years. I mean, to have him coming off the bench, it is a weapon.
So we got Williams taking this one from the line. It is up. Hits off the rim, no good, and Michigan gets a rebound there. And with that, I guess ball doesn't lie. Slowing it down, we got Jones taking up the court. Force almost loses control, but hangs on to it. Goes towards the basket, sets a shot up, and it finds its way in. Not the prettiest shot, but it made it. Jones didn't even have to pass it on that possession.
And Jones is just finding his way to create his own offense, just weaving his way through the Purdue defense and putting up a wild finish.
6:24 remaining. Michigan up 11-6. And a steal taken by Jones. Goes up for a jumper and makes it. Michigan has all the momentum here. Up to an early 13-6 lead. Jones playing heads-up ball, getting the fast break point. And Michigan, already 6 of their last 6, has not missed a possession this game. Inbound pass to Williams in the paint. Dickinson goes up for a block, and it finds its way in for a deep jump. And Purdue finally puts some points back on the board to counter Michigan. And with that, it'll be 13-8 as Michigan takes the ball back. Jones has it, as always, taking it down the court. Passes up to Hunter, who goes up for a rebound, and it is no good, unable to hang on to it. And that is the first possession of the game Michigan has not scored, and it's already almost 5 minutes in the game. We got Ivey driving towards the basket, and that one goes in, and Purdue's finally finding their stride in double digits right now as Michigan takes it back. Full court press being played against Jones. We got Hunter Jr. fighting. And that will be a timeout on Michigan. 3 remaining, and that'll also bring us to the media under 16 timeout too. So with that, Michigan goes into the first stoppage of play, up 13-10. They're not doing great on defense, but their offense is keeping them ahead in this game.
Yeah, that is as much as they could have asked for, absolutely, on the offensive end. Scoring each of their possessions up until that last one. And playing tough defense, a steal from Devonte Jones early, not giving up easy shots. Those last 2 possessions for Purdue, they scored, and it's a 3-point game, but they weren't easy shots. You had Williams taking a jumper from the elbow that bounced and found its way in, and then an Ivey shot where he had a man all over him. So good defense to start for the Wolverines, but unfortunately the Boilermakers are just finding a way to get the ball into the basket.
Jones is 3 for 3 from the field so far, with 6 points in total, including a fast break off of a steal. I think he has to be the highlight of the game so far for Michigan.
Yeah, and the play of the game is arguably that feed to Diabate down low. That was an unbelievable pass, and Diabate finished it with the exclamation, a slam that got the student section going. Then you also had the Dickinson play on defense. They were doing it on both sides of the ball against Jaden Ivey. Dickinson with the big swat. Those are the kind of plays that get the fans energized, that get the team. They give them momentum, they get them going early. That's what you need to beat a top 3 team, and they got to keep that going all the way through the game, unfortunately, but let's hope they can keep it up.
Yeah, and they're going to have to step up on defense. We already saw 1 block from Hunter, but 3 of the last 3 going into this timeout for Purdue on field goals. and Michigan's offense is keeping them in this game, but you can't expect that to hold up the entire 40 minutes.
Yeah, a lot of points early in this game, and that's probably not great for a team like Michigan that doesn't like to shoot, or that doesn't shoot a ton of threes and doesn't make a ton of threes. So if they're going to win this game, you're going to have to get defensive stops. You're going to have to, force turnovers. You're not just going to be able to boat race Purdue and score 85 points on them. That's not going to happen.
Yeah. But Michigan's doing what they need to do so far.
Yes, they are.
Just whether they could keep it up.
Yes.
I'm curious to see if Michigan makes any substitutions coming out of the timeout. They did have some players at the check-in table, but, with timeouts, there might be some changes. Looks like they will be making one substitution. Dickinson's coming on out. We got Brandon Johns Jr. checking on in, the sixth man. And a handful of subs. Hunter Jr. and Gillis are coming out for Purdue. We got Thompson and First making their first minutes on the Boilermakers side. This is Big Ten basketball here in the Chrysler Center on WCBN.
And it's interesting, you can watch sort of the chess match with the substitutions there. You see Williams come in for Edey, and now this is the time when Juwan Howard decides he's going to be able to get Dickinson out of the game and go a little bit smaller. Yeah. And you see Brandon Johns come in.
Yep. We got the crowd here in Chrysler. I'd say a decent one for a Thursday 9 p.m. tip. This is such an odd time. Students on Thursday night like to go to bars and restaurants. It's a tough sell to get them to come to Chrysler.
It's the start of the weekend, but they seem to have brought the energy, and they're ready to go for a chance to beat a top 3 team in the nation.
Exactly. We got Brooks with the ball, pass to Diabate, who puts it in. Musa getting the French flags out in the crowd. Almost kind of looked like Jordan on that jumper right there. Michigan takes a 15-10 lead. Coming out of the timeout with fire. Deep three coming up from Purdue, unable to land it. And Michigan gets a rebound. Brandon Johns making his presence early. Inbound to Musa. Fakes a deep 2 jumper. Pulls up, puts it in. Foul and one! Wow, Musa is taking possession of this game. And Michigan is now up by 7 with the potential to go up by an extra point here.
Wow is right. That showed why Musa was a 5-star coming in. That was just him being the better athlete and putting the moves on Stefanovic.
So we got the crowd quieting down. It's an and one from Musa. French flag out in the Maze Rage. Nothing but net on that, and Michigan takes an 18-10 lead. Four-court press playing against the Boilermakers. They're really putting pressure, almost a 8-second violation. It's stolen! Stolen by Michigan, errant play, and we got Houston playing heads up and taking a possession from the Boilermakers. Pass over to Jones, driving towards the basket. Out to Houston, over to Johns in the corner, up to Brooks at the logo. Tight defense, pick set by Johns. Fake 3 taken by Musa, back to Brooks. 6 on the shot clock. Shot up by Musa, hits the rim, no good, rebounded by Williams. And Michigan coming out of that timeout, finally the fire starts to fuel out. Fast play driven by Purdue. Ivy puts it in and blocked. They're gonna say goaltending, I believe. But that was a really electric play by Musa.
Yeah, and it was a goaltend. The ref was all over that one. But Musa was showing off the elevation there. And then a play where it looked like the Wolverines defense was out of it. He almost made a play.
Almost did, and you like to see the hustle. I guess worst that could happen is a goaltend, so
yep.
No harm, no foul as Michigan takes it back. Pass over into the far side corner with Brandon Johns. Finds Jones at the key. Pick set by Brooks. Pass to the inside to Musa. Driving towards the paint. Jumper 2, and it's good. Michigan up 20-12. Musa has all of the points since the timeout so far. 9 of their last 11 from the field. Michigan's offense hasn't cooled down at all this game. Thompson with the ball. Passes over to Morton, 2 men on him at the key. Trying to dribble, goes towards the lane, up and in, right over Brooks. And that makes it 20-14.
That was an NBA level move from Ivy there. That was just an athlete being better than the other one.
We got Jones trying to get it, pick set by Musa. Pass over to Brandon Johns, open for 3, no good off the rim, rebounded by Thompson. And Purdue's gonna take it back. Michigan's offense starting to cool off a little bit. Thompson hangs onto it himself, passes back to Morton. 16 on the shot clock. Over to the corner. We got First. Back over to Ivy. Shot is up. No good, but it is a foul, and I believe it'll be a shooting one too, so it'll send him to the line.
And again, he just looks strong. He was getting grabbed around the arm there and really pulled down and still put up a shot that looked like it had a chance to go in. And he has been really impressive early on.
Absolutely. He has NBA caliber player really putting together his resume on this one. 12-17 remaining as we got the free throws from Ivy. First one's up and good. One more awaiting us. Michigan's lead shrinks to only 5. Got a couple of substitutions. Dickinson comes back in, and Collins comes in for the first time. Jones and Diabate come out. Diabate is going to be a tough presence to replace. Second shot awaiting us. It's up and good. And with that, it's now only a 4-point game as Michigan inbounds it. Crowd is loud here. And we got a pass inbound to Brooks, and it's good. Wow. Brooks driving towards the basket. Kind of a skyhook Kareem-esque. Puts it behind his back off the backboard and in. Michigan keeps the ball moving after that foul. 11:52, Michigan leads Purdue 22-16. Purdue trying to come back. Foul called against number 15, Edey. And he'll send him to the line as well for an and one.
And that's a tough one. I thought that you might have seen Edey hooking and holding almost one of the Wolverine players earlier there, and he might have gotten away with something, but it goes against the Wolverines, and they almost will have a chance to give up a 3-point play if he's able to convert this free throw. But on the possession before, how about that sequence? You had the feed from Frankie Collins and the finish from Brooks. That's what you want to see. Collins is a guy that's going to be around for hopefully a couple of years after Jones graduates, and he's a guy that I really like to see getting minutes in important situations. In games against the top team in the Big Ten and making plays like that. That's really fun to see.
It absolutely is. We're at the under 12 media timeout. This game is on ESPN tonight, so lots of media timeouts. Get ready to hear our voices frequently tonight. For those just tuning in, Michigan is not out of this one just quite yet. Up 22-18, and their offense has been on fire despite Purdue looking very good themselves. Purdue shooting 62 from the field. Michigan 71.
A red-hot start for the Wolverines, something that you probably didn't expect if you watched the last game and their road trip to Penn State. A game where they looked overall relatively sluggish and unexciting on the offensive end, but that has not been the case so far tonight. They've come out looking energetic. They've come out looking like they have a real sense of what they want to do on offense, which hasn't necessarily been the case so far. I'm excited by the point guard play we've seen. Devonte Jones has looked excellent, and you just saw Frankie Collins make a great pass. So definitely an encouraging start for Michigan.
Yeah, and Michigan, they did not look that good in Happy Valley. It was on the road. It was a late game. I get that. But they barely hung on. And the Nittany Lions made them fight for every point and made them fight for that win at the end there. To come back, I guess coming home helps, but to play the number 3 team in the nation, and this is exactly what Michigan needs to do to win.
Yes, exactly. And hopefully that Penn State game came as somewhat of a wake-up call. And the other good thing to take away from it is that's not necessarily a game they win earlier in the year. They lost games where they were the better team, but they couldn't close teams out down the stretch and couldn't make shots, and they lost the game. And that didn't happen against Penn State, so that's the positive.
If anything should be a wake-up call, it should have been that Nebraska game last week. Ryan Dolson, who's doing the second half, he was also on that one, and that was not pretty at all. For Michigan, they barely hung on against the worst team in the Big Ten. They got their first win of the season the other day. First win of Big Ten play, rather, the other day, the Cornhuskers. So would have been very embarrassing, and Michigan just barely held on. They were down big late, and they had to come back, and it was not a pretty game. So if that wasn't a wake-up call, I guess they got the Penn State one. But at least as of now, they appear to be wide awake as
yes, they do.
Purdue goes to the line. Shot is up for the and one, and that drains it. It's now just a 3-point game as Michigan leads 22-19 with 11:43 remaining. Got the crowd getting loud. We got Collins taking it in. Passes over to Dickinson with 2 men on him. Trying to pass it, very risky pass, and it goes out of bounds from Brooks, trying to find Brandon Johns in the paint. Just a little bit outside. He had a lot of press on him. Just couldn't thread it. And that is the first turnover by Michigan this game.
They've been clean for a while now, but just a couple risky passes in a row there. It caught up to him, and Johns wasn't able to hold on to the ball. Just got to be a little bit more careful there.
Yeah, so we got Ivy taking it at the key. Quick pass over to Morton. Got a whistle called, and it'll be an out of bounds. Off of Edey, they say stepped on the baseline there. And that is a lucky break for the Wolverines.
And just got stuck in the corner and lost track of where he was there, and that's a break for Michigan.
We got the inbound from Brandon Johns Jr. Passes inbound to Frankie Collins. Quick down the paint to Jones. Jones over to Williams with his first minutes. Dickinson sets a pick. Pass out to Jones at the key. Passes back out for a deep 2 fake by Brandon Johns off the rim, rebounded, and it's going to be a foul. And I believe it's going to be on Purdue.
And a strong physical rebound from Terrence Williams there. I thought for a second they got him going over the back, but he ended up getting fouled on the rebound. Just a really strong play there by number 5.
And Musa is coming back in. He was phenomenal this game. Already has 9 points, almost in double digits. Shot clock goes back up to 20 as Frankie Collins prepares to inbound it from the baseline. Back out to Dickinson at the key. We've seen him pull up for a couple threes this season. Pass to Collins as Dickinson sets a pick. Over in the corner to Houston. Houston over to Collins again. Another pick by Dickinson. Driving towards the basket. Barely hangs on. Passes to Jones. Up for deep 2. Off the rim. Dickinson tips it but unable to finish. And rebounded now by Edey, and Purdue takes possession. Up by 3, 22-19, 10:30 remaining. Hunter Jr. has it, goes in the paint, loose ball, and it's going to be a Michigan ball. That gets the crowd fired up.
I'm not sure what they got him for there. I think it was Zach Edey, and he's going to come out of the game again with, I believe, only his second foul.
Yeah, that will be his second foul. I'm unclear what they called it on, but Michigan's going to take the possession here. Collins takes it up. Passes over to Houston, who finds Dickinson at the key. Over to Jones. Fast-moving break. Collins finds some space and gets the ball. Sets it up. Inside to Diabate. Dribbles, puts it up, and it's blocked. Wow. Flying up is Gillis, and Michigan unable to score 22-19 as we cross over the 10-minute mark. Crowd's getting loud. Williams has it, finds Hunter Jr., and back over to Williams, trying to move his way in the paint with Diabate on him. Shot up deep 2 and drains it. It's a 1-point ball game.
That is really tough to stop, and Williams is just a really big guy. So that is a tough move when he shimmies to the right and then goes up with the left hand.
We have Jawan on the court telling his teammates to slow down the pace. Already under 15 on the clock. We got Jones, takes it himself, drives in, blocked, but rebounded there by Musa. 7 on the clock, didn't hit the rim there. 4-3, Dickinson has it, goes up for 3. Off the rim, no good. Rebounded, however, Michigan unable to finish. Another rebound by Houston. This time puts it in. Couple of errors there, finally finishes. We got the Canadian flag out in the crowd after that. Michigan leads 24-21, extends it back to a 3-point ball game. Only 1 3 for either team. Hunter unable to make that one. So we got Hunter Jr. on the Boilermakers, passes in, goes for a deep 3. 2 teammates on the Wolverines fighting for the rebound, but finally hangs on to it as Jones takes it down the court, passes to Dickinson. Inside to Diabate, and a terrible pass intercepted by Purdue, and that's just on Hunter. You can't be making plays like that.
Yeah, he forced that one. There was just nothing there, and he just should not have made that pass. He got what he deserved for that.
Stefanovic sets the pick, passes over to Hunter Jr. Deep 3, and that's drained. I feel like I jinxed it when I said no 3 was made. That was on Morton, and it's a tie game. It's been quite a while since it's been a tie game. Last time it was 4 apiece. Now it's 24 apiece. Inbound pass there over the court, and now we got Diabate passes to Hunter, unable to finish, swatted out of bounds, and that's going to be Purdue's ball. They're saying it was Diabate who kicked it on out.
And they just couldn't finish under the basket on that one. That's happened a couple times now, but what you like to see is them crashing the boards, being physical, coming up with offensive rebounds, and getting second chances for themselves. They just look like they're playing with a lot of energy and a lot of physicality, and I keep using that word energy, but it's just what the game looks like right now. They're moving fast, they look alive. You have to like what you're seeing so far.
Yes, you do. It is a tie game, and it feels like Michigan's offense has slowed down a little bit, but they're still getting points when needed. Purdue just hasn't stepped off the break, though. They're 5 of their last 6 from the field. And it looks like Michigan is kind of reverting to the mean. They're 1 of their last 8 on shots. And as we go into the under 8 media timeout, there's 7:54 on the clock. Game tied at 24 apiece. Leading, we got Diabate with 9 points for the Wolverines. And then leading, we got Ivy, no surprise there, with 10. Only player on either team with double digits. Jones has 3 rebounds already, and Brooks has 2 assists.
And Diabate leading the team is that's the stat that is the most impactful to me so far. He's got a quick 9 points, and Juwan took him out of the game for a couple minutes there just to give him a rest, but he has really been playing with purpose. He looks like he's confident down low. He's got post moves that he's put to memory, and he is really able to make a move and score someone down low, which is not always a given for a freshman. And he just looks fast, strong, really like everything that you would have hoped he was going to be coming in. That's got to be a thing that Wolverine fans are excited about moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. And there has been some unforced errors against the Wolverine the past couple of minutes. What we saw is first Hunter's errant pass. Diabate had 2 men on him, and he just passed it straight to the Boilermaker. Another one, this time on Diabate, went up for a rebound and ended up just tipping it out. He was unable to haul it in. I think Hunter and Jones both went up for an offensive rebound together, kind of knocked the ball out. Luckily, Michigan was able to hang on to that, but that could be very dangerous too.
Yeah, and although Hunter Dickinson is only a sophomore, it sort of feels like he's one of the veterans of this team. He's your best player. You've got 2 guys coming in who are getting significant minutes as freshmen. So it does sort of feel like Dickinson is one of the veterans and certainly one of the leaders on this team. And I'm not going to make a judgment about a bad play he made a couple minutes ago or, even the first 12, 13 minutes of this game. But Diabate has been one of the best players on the floor tonight. We've seen Frankie Collins, the freshman, make good plays. If they're going to win games like this and go late into either Big Ten or postseason tournament, you're going to need to see Hunter Dickinson step up, and at some point you're going to want to see Eli Brooks make more of an impact as well. You haven't seen him shoot the ball from three nearly as well as he has in the past, and he doesn't feel like quite as much of an offensive spark as he has in years.
Yeah, Brooks, he is leading the Wolverines in assists with 2. However, he only has 1 shot up, and it went in, so he's 1 for 1, but 2 points, 2 assists, and no rebounds and a turnover is not exactly a great stat line, almost 2/3 of the way through the first half. Purdue's going to begin with it. Hunter Jr. takes it in, passes over to Ivy, the star of the Boilermakers, takes it to the paint, but quickly distributes out to Gillis. Gillis finds William right with Hunter on him, the 2 big men, goes up for a shot, and that one's in and out, and Hunter gets a rebound. Michigan saving some points there. Quick play, and it's in the corner, but Michigan ultimately elects to slow this one down. Jones has it as we got Houston setting a pick for him. 15 left on the shot clock, and Jones is taking his time. Diabate sets another pick. Pass over to Dickinson, wide open, goes for 3, and nothing but net. I told you Dickinson has been working on that. He's not just an inside threat anymore. You gotta at least, you can't leave him wide open like that at the very least. He's not the best shooter on the team from deep, but he's not terrible like he was last season.
No, he is not. That's a shot that he has looked better at and looked more comfortable with week after week.
On the other side of the ball, Purdue trying to act quickly. A pass over intended for Williams goes out of bounds, but they say Diabate fouled him on that. The crowd does not like that call. That's the first on Diabate, 4th foul of the half for Wolverines. Been a relatively clean game so far. Inbound pass to Gillis, finds Hunter at the key. We got Diabate on him. Inbound to Williams. Back out for a deep 3, and that's no good. Struggling to get the rebound, barely hanging on to it. However, that'll be a backcourt violation. Wow, Purdue with an error there. Trying to hang on to it as Stefanovic, and he was able to stay in bounds, and he tipped it over to his teammate, but it went on the other side of the court. So,
and the swarming defense of the Wolverines again made it difficult to recover, and they get another impactful turnover early in this game. We'll see if they can capitalize.
Jones takes the inbound pass at the free throw line, passes to Dickinson for a deep 2, and he makes that one. Wow. Hunter is on fire from deep, and Michigan extends their lead to 5 points.
And he might be feeling it. He was calling for the ball there. He wanted that shot, and he drained it.
Purdue left him open. They should learn their lesson on that. They should watch the game film. He's not a threat, but you can't leave him open like that. Another foul on Michigan. Looks like it'll be on Devonte Jones, I believe. First personal foul for Jones, 5th of the game for the Wolverines. We have 5:58 remaining in this first half.
And that slows things down after a quick 5-0 start coming out of the timeout for Michigan.
Purdue has a 2-minute 19 scoring drought, allowing Michigan to regain some lead. Ivy has it, goes for a deep 3, hits the rim a bit outside, and Michigan can't get the rebound, however. Wow, that is an unforced error by Purdue. Stefanovic dives, gets it, and he's quickly trying to get it away so it's not a jump ball, and he throws it out of bounds. No teammate could even hang on to it. And that's the 2nd time in a row where an athletic play by Stefanovic saves a possession, but he can't finish, and it goes out, resulting in a turnover.
Yeah, he just sort of panicked and said, somebody else take it. I don't know what to do with it. And
Ooh, offensive charge. They're calling that on Jones. Both players hit the court, and wow, that's got to be a hard one. I could hear that from up here.
Yeah, that was quite a collision. I hope both guys are okay there. And it looks like, yeah, they're going to get Jones for a charge, and he may leave the game for a second here, and he will, and comes Kobe Buffkin.
That's Jones' 2nd foul. We got Buffkin in for the first moment of the game. decent role player for what it's been this season. 5:33, and Purdue's going to get the inbound pass. Michigan got the turnover, but unable to score after that charge. Hunter Jr. has it, finds Ivy, making work of Michigan's defenders. Passes out for a deep three by First. In and out, rebound by who other than Buffkin, making his presence known early after coming in. Pass over to Dickinson. Over in the corner, finds Diabate. Deep two, fakes a pull-up, drives towards the basket. Trying to get a shot up, puts it up, and no good off the front lip of the rim. Purdue takes it and slows it down. Over to Hunter Jr. Finds Stefanovic for a deep three, in and out, and Michigan gets the rebounds. Wow, Brooks on the fast break, trying to find someone open. Pass up, and that is in and out, no good. Diabate with the rebound, hangs on to it, and it's going to be a jump ball, and Michigan will retain possession with the arrow. Electric play there by Diabate to get that rebound and hang on to it.
Electric is right. That was an exciting sequence, and you saw a couple nice plays going both ways by Diabate as he put a nice move on him early on the first possession, and then nice defensive play going back the other way, and now gets a rebound. So he's impacting the game in multiple ways. The only thing I don't like there is you see the Terrence Williams quick pull up on the fast break. I'd like to see them settle into some offense there.
We got Burfkin inbounds to Williams, who's back in the game. Finds Brooks, who goes up to Dickinson, fakes a shot, passes Diabate, wide open, slam dunk in the paint, and Michigan extends their lead to 7 points.
And that is good offense. Quick passes, good feed from Dickinson, and Diabate with the finish.
7-0 run, French flags flying in the Maze Rage. Michigan leads 31-24. Chrysler is loud and rocking. Williams has it by the key, trips up a bit, but hangs on to it. No good off the front limb. Rebounded by Hunter Dickinson, and Michigan's going to slow it down. Over to Brooks. Distributes it quickly back to Hunter. Hunter trying to find someone open. Can't really make any room. Over to Diabate, who goes in the paint. Passes out to Williams the second. Burfkin wide open for three. Goes up for it. No good. Doesn't even hit the rim. 8 seconds left. Burfkin gets a rebound up and no good. And it goes out of bounds. It'll be Purdue's ball. Wow, that was a tough possession for the Wolverines. Wide open by Burfkin. Nothing but anything. It doesn't even touch the backboard rim or net. Luckily, we had Williams the second there to scoop it up, but just couldn't get any points. Michigan is up by 7 as we go into the under 4-minute timeout here.
Yeah, and a couple chances that they couldn't capitalize on there, but a good look eventually by Williams. But what a great start coming out of that timeout, aside from that last possession. 7 unanswered points for Michigan. They've had really good offense. Diabate has looked explosive. Another two-hand jam there. Really an exciting offensive start for Michigan. 31 points with still almost 4 minutes to go in the first half.
Okay, so here's how the game has been in the past couple of minutes. I think you should get a picture on why Michigan is leading right now. Past 4 minutes 33 seconds, Purdue has not had a point. They have a scoring drought. On the other hand, last 3 minutes 25 seconds, Michigan is on a 7-0 run. 5 of those points from Hunter Dickinson shooting deep. On the other hand, Purdue is 1 of their last 8 from the field and 0 of their last 6. In the middle of the half, they were really strong shooting. They had 6 in a row, but that fire kind of slowed and burnt out, I guess, a regression to the mean. And just look at this. Okay, Purdue is shooting 45 from the field, Michigan 48. You might think, okay, that's not too different. Check it out from 3. Michigan shooting a very respectable 40% from 3, 2 for 5 so far. Purdue, 1 for 8. That's a 13% three-point percentage. Just, you can't win like that, especially as a number 3 team. And if Michigan keeps this up, an upset might be brewing.
Yeah, and you haven't really, only 3 threes combined from either team, so not a lot of offense at all from outside the three-point line. But if you're Purdue, you haven't scored in the last, almost 4 minutes or so. 1 for 8 from 3, 24 points when you've only got 3:43 to go in the first half. The offense is going to have to come at some point, and aside from just not being able to make threes, they haven't really had much offense. Ivy's scored, and he's been physical, and he's gotten to the basket, but that's been about it.
Yeah, Ivy, he's been the highlight. 10 points leading the Boilermakers. Diabate has 11, only guy on the Wolverines in double-digit point-wise.
But he's had help. He's got Dickinson's got 7, and I don't know if they've had a lot of other scoring, but it feels like they've moved the ball around and distributed to other guys.
Yeah, let's see about the Michigan shooting stats. We got 7 from Dickinson. Jones has 6 pretty sneakily. Houston has 5, and then Diabate with 11 there. So he does have help. Compare that to Purdue, it's basically just Ivy. He has 10, then we got Williams with 6, and then 2 from Gillis, 3 from Edey, 3 from Morton. No other really strong shooters to rely on so far this game.
No, you've seen Stefanovic take a couple threes, but it just doesn't feel like it's their night so far from 3. That's not to say that they can't or won't win this game, but it's going to have to come at some point.
Yes, it will, and that's going to be an inbound pass for Purdue coming out of the last media timeout of the first half. First has it out by the key, finds Gillis, 17 on the shot clock. Thompson has it out now, pick set now, and passed over to Morton. Evie has it in the paint, trying to thread it, and intercepted by Dickinson. Great suffocating defense by the Wolverines. Passes to Williams as he slows it down, and that scoring drought's going to continue.
And the turnover battle has been huge for Michigan tonight as well. They've turned Purdue over, and they have not turned the ball over on offense.
You know it. And then we got Williams, passes to Diabate in the corner for deep 2, trying to bring it towards the basket. 5 on the shot clock. They're going to say that's a foul on Purdue, and that'll be the 5th of the half. And that'll be on Gillis, his first of the game. You mentioned the turnovers. Michigan has given up 2 turnovers. Very good, especially in the first half, almost over. Purdue has 8. This is not Purdue's game, and Michigan just seems to be having the exact recipe they need to win. Pass out to Williams. Tight defense there by Purdue. Inbound to Hunter. 2 men up on him, hands up in the air. Cross court wide open, 3 attempt. Off the rim, no good. And it goes out of bounds. Off Hunter is what they're saying. Crowd does not like that, but Purdue will take the inbound pass.
Well, I'm not sure who it was off, but
here's the replay. Let's take a look. So it hits off the rim. Hunter, that's awfully close. I'm not too concerned with that call. Inbound pass there to Thompson for the Boilermakers. Goes out of bounds. Going to stay with Purdue. They said tipped off Burfkin. 20 seconds on the shot clock now. 2:29 remaining. Michigan up 31-24. 5-minute, 47-second shooting drought, point drought, scoring drought for the Boilermakers. And Michigan has a 2-minute drought of their own. But before that, they had a 7-0 run, so I guess it's good for them. Here we got number 11, Thompson. Gets the inbound pass. 9 on the shot clock. Driving towards the lanes, Ivy. That's going to be a foul. Doesn't go in. However, he will go to the line. Trying to break that scoring drought. Likely will is Ivy going to the line. 2 for 2 on the charity stripe this game so far.
And Ivy just deciding to create his own offense again. Just being really physical and getting to the basket. But a nice contest there from Bufkin, even though it was a foul. Ivy looked like he wanted to go up and just throw that down. So Bufkin not allowing that to happen and forcing him to make 2 from the line, which he misses the first one, so it paid off.
Second one coming our way, so the scoring drought continues momentarily. Might end here. 2:15 remaining in the first half. Michigan up 31-24 against the 3rd-ranked team in the nation. And we got a crowd chant of overrated, I guess. Going for the shot.
Well, it is early.
And that drains it. So it will end the scoring drought, but no field goals made, I guess. So that'll continue. 0 field goals, I guess, over the last 6 minutes. We got Burfton taking the ball down the court after the free throw. 31-25 in this game. Pick set by Musa. Pass over to Dickinson. 10 on the shot clock. Need to make something happen. Eli Brooks trying to go at 5, 4. Into the corner. Dickinson for 3. Money! Wow! Dickinson is showing his deep threat this game. That's his second 3 in addition to a deep 2. Michigan leads now 34-25 in this game, and that really electrocuted the crowd. They're loud, loud, loud. Michigan leads by 9. Shot up there by Williams, so he does make that, finally ending the field goal drought. Michigan still leading 34-27 here. 1 minute 19 left in the first half. Crowd is loud. Michigan slowing it down. Brooks has it, finds Dickinson, the elite scorer, 10 points on the game, including 6 from beyond the arc. Trying to back into the court. Up against Williams, goes up and good! Hunter Dickinson is on fire this game so far. Michigan looking to go into the halftime with the lead, 36-27, under a minute left to go. Williams has it, Dickinson on him very tight, hitting against each other. 2 big men fighting, shot is up, and it goes in for Williams. Williams making 2 straight free throws for the Boilermakers. 29-36, 33 seconds left. 25 on the shot clock, so a little bit of a differential. You have to guess that Michigan's going to take as much time as they can on this one. Eli Brooks out at the logo against number 11, Thompson, not playing very tight pressure. 12 on the shot clock. Michigan not looking to do anything as of yet. Pick set by Dickinson, not very successful. 5, 4, inbounds to Diabate, slam dunk! Wow, Diabate with his 3rd slam dunk. Michigan leads 38-29. Purdue goes up for a deep 3 with 3 seconds. No good. Hunter gets it and hangs on to it to close out the half. Michigan going into the locker room, 38-29. And I don't think anyone saw this coming. Michigan with almost a double-digit lead over the 3rd-ranked team in the nation.
Wow, what a half of basketball that was. Regardless of whether you're a Michigan fan or not, if you're a Purdue fan, you're disappointed. But just exciting basketball here, especially on the Wolverines end. The Dickinson 3 got the Maze Rage up and going. And then on the other end, you have a strong Trayvon Williams finish. And then back on the other end, another Diabate slam. Just exciting basketball on both sides. And what a half for Michigan.
Diabate's best skill set is that he is elusive and sneaky. He could run straight to the basket, get open, quickly grab it, and not wasting any time, just slam it on down. He is able to open up plays for other folks because they have to put people in the paint. Yep. And that opens up maybe Dickinson on the outside to shoot a 3 like he has so far today. He's
got length, he's got physicality, he's a force in the post, but he's also a strong distributor, like you said, and he is a tough matchup. Purdue has no answer for him so far tonight.
No, Michigan going into the showers, I guess not showers at halftime, but going into the locker room, 3 of their final 3, including a Dickinson shot and a Diabate slam dunk. The crowd is electric. Those who came out on Thursday night really got a treat.
They have gotten their money's worth so far, and I hope we get to see some more of the same in the second half. That was just really, really exciting basketball.
It is exciting basketball so far. Looking at the stat line, let's take a look. We got, for Michigan, Diabate leading with 13 points. Dickinson right behind him with 12. Beyond that, Jones has 6, Houston has 5, and Brooks has 2. Dickinson also leading the team in rebounds with 4. Brooks leading in assists with 4. Michigan, that entire first half, 2 turnovers. Compare that to Purdue, 8 turnovers of their own. That alone might be why they're losing, I would say. On the other side of the court, other side of the benches, we got Williams with 10, including 2 late shots made layups by Williams. And then we got Ivy, with 11, the best player on the team, however, went to the line and missed one late in that first half. Beyond that, the next house has 3. We got Morton and Edie each with 3 apiece. And then Gillis with 2, and that's it. The team they're 1 for 9 from 3.
Yeah, that has been absolutely, arguably, the biggest problem for them. And Williams really came on strong in the second half. He had back-to-back possessions there where he went down low and finished with a basket. But most of the first half, it was just Ivy for Purdue, and that was the problem. Ivy was strong as ever, 50% from the field, 3 free throws to go along with it. But he can't do it all. He's going to need Williams and likely someone else to contribute more in the second half. Like we talked about, Michigan, they've had multiple different guys do it, and that's how it's going to have to be for them. They don't have, I mean, Dickinson can go for 25 if he has to, but that's not the key to victory in my eyes. You need Diabate, you need Houston, you need Jones. You need everyone contributing offensively. Dickinson is not going to be able to do it all himself every night. And tonight he's had plenty of help, and it is fun to see.
Yeah, and I'm curious, does Jawan even make any adjustments at halftime, or did he just say, keep doing what you've been doing?
Well, I don't know if I have the answer to that. I think if I were him, I would probably say keep doing what you're doing. But, Matt Painter is one of the best coaches in the Big Ten, and he's going to come out with a different game plan in the second half as well. I would expect that Jawan is going to continue to tell his guys to try to do something that Jaden Ivey. He's the one guy that they haven't had an answer for. But on offense, absolutely, keep doing what you're doing. I'm sure we'll see a lot more of Diabate. Hopefully Dickinson feels a little bit more confident following that strong end to the first half. But if you're Jawan, I think, you focus on Jaden Ivey for Purdue, and offensively keep doing what you're doing.
On the other side of the bench, what does Purdue need to do at halftime? I would say turnovers. We talked about it. Yeah. 8 turnovers in the first isn't good, but it's even worse when you have Michigan only surrendering 2. So I would say limit that, but that's easier said than done. Anything else they need to do?
Well, I think that's a couple big things, and they're only down 9 in this first half. So as much as it feels like Michigan did everything that they could have done well in the first half, this game is far from over. It's a single-digit scoring deficit for Purdue. So I think they're going to have to start making shots eventually. They're going to have to, even that turnover deficit up a little bit. And those are 2 things that if Purdue will dominate this second half and really get themselves back into this game, they're going to start making threes and they're going to start forcing turnovers. So I think that's really what it is. 8 turnovers in a half is not going to do you any good. So those are the key things for me.
Yeah, we're about to hand it over to our other broadcasters, Ryan Dolson and Jared Greenspan, who will be covering the second half. But before we do, I got to do a little bit of self-promotion for WCBN. We have a huge weekend ahead of us. At least for my time at the station, I don't know if it's the most ever in a weekend, but in the 3-day stretch, we have tonight's basketball game, the men's game. Then we have, starting at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, we got versus Kansas City down in Tampa, Florida. We'll be broadcasting the Michigan softball team with their first game of the season. They're 16th ranked coming into this season. Should be very exciting. We'll be covering that from Tampa starting at 10. And then we have another game right after. It'll be another softball game at 12:30 versus the Redbirds, the Illinois State Red Bull Birds. And then finally tomorrow night at 7:30, hockey versus MSU from Yost. So that's just tomorrow, Friday. Then Saturday we have a huge day with 5 separate broadcasts. Starting at 1 p.m., softball versus the Gators, number 6 in the nation, Florida Gators. Then at the same time, starting at 1, we have men's lacrosse on WCBN2. That's the home opener versus Detroit Mercy. Then softball has the second game of the day at 3:30 p.m. against USF, the hosts of the tournament down in Tampa. 6 p.m., I'll be back in the booth here in Chrysler with men's basketball versus number 16, Ohio State Buckeyes. That'll be on WCBN2. And then finally closing out that jam-packed Saturday, 7 p.m. hockey versus MSU. That's a duel in the D from Detroit at Little Caesars Arena where the Wings play. We'll have that both on WCBN1 and 88.3. And just to cap off the weekend, I'll be driving to Evanston Sunday morning, and that's when we'll face off, the women's basketball team, is facing off against the Wildcats in Evanston, Illinois. They just had a heartbreaking loss before this one, losing to in-state rival Michigan State in East Lansing. But that's our weekend. We have 10 games in 72 hours. I believe that is a station record, but if not, it is certainly a record at my time with the station. So definitely tune in. Never miss a game by subscribing to our YouTube channel, following us on Twitter, and going to our website. But with that, anything else you'd like to say before we hand over the reins?
No, I hope they're able to carry this strong first half and carry this momentum in the second half. 9-point lead is as much as I could have asked for, so I'll say go blue and hand it over to these guys for the second half.
Yeah, but I agree. This is the most exciting half I've called this season, I would say, against the number 3 team in the nation. This might be what Michigan needs to sneak into the tournament. Maybe a play-in game in Dayton, but a bid is a bid, and a win over a number 3 ranked Purdue team is certainly something nice to have on your resume.
Absolutely it is.
So with that, we hand it over to Jared Greenspan and Ryan Dolson, who will be covering the second half here for WCBN.
Hello everybody and welcome back to WCBN Sports presentation of Michigan men's basketball. Alongside Ryan Dolson, I'm Jared Greenspan here inside the Chrysler Center where the Wolverines are staked to a 9-point halftime lead over the 3rd-ranked team in the country, the Purdue Boilermakers, on the backs of what really was a brilliant first 20 minutes of basketball, probably the best half of basketball that this Michigan team has played since they beat Indiana late in January.
Yeah, I was honestly absolutely going to say the same thing. You know, this not even since January, this is the best this team has looked really all year, I have to say. Everything is really coming together. Defensively, they look really solid, really excellent. They're making all the big plays. They're getting open. They look like a cohesive unit, really. Just a full, like everything's clicking perfectly, and it's exactly what this team needed. You're going up against the number 3 team in the country. There's no room for error. Very little room for error.
Hunter Dickinson with 12 points. He did not look 100%, looked to be bothered or hampered by some sort of lower leg ailment. He came out late for warm-ups, was an early sub in the second half, or in the first half rather, and as those 20 minutes moved on, he really seemed to start to find his groove playing through that injury, made a pair of huge three-pointers, and was really basking in the glory of this crowd, which is revved up for a Thursday night tip.
Oh, absolutely. He was... It looked for a little bit like he was potentially having trouble with the boards, but immediately once I started thinking that, he started coming out and he started draining threes. He started getting wide open. He started making great plays defensively. The whole team really looks great. I honestly have very little complaints right now.
Moussa Diabate as well with 13. He leads the way for the Wolverines, a pair of rim-rocking dunks underneath. Diabate really has struggled of late, really the past month plus. He struggled mightily against the Boilermakers on Saturday, couldn't find a rhythm. He's been benched a few times, but his redemption arc appears to be back. Just a great first half performance for him, looked poised, was getting himself open, and perhaps most importantly was not a defensive liability.
Yeah, absolutely. It was very concerning, you know, seeing in warm-up. You know, you really could just see in person just how big number 15.
Zach Edey.
Yeah, for Purdue. You get to see how big he really is, and you can see how much of a factor he can be. But Michigan very wisely drawing fouls for him, keeping him in foul trouble, making sure that the coaches don't want to leave him in for terribly long.
Zach Edey is 7'4", 295 pounds, the sophomore from Toronto. He is a load underneath, but he didn't really play in that first half.
I mean, that's really all you can do.
He played 4 minutes, picked up a quick first foul, was reinserted into the game with about 12 minutes to play in the first half, and picked up a second foul. And I think that's Michigan's best strategy against Zach Edey in order to neutralize him, is to keep him off the floor.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you think Hunter Dickinson's big, and you see this guy. I mean, just...
Purdue shot 48% from the field, only scored 29 points. This is a Boilermakers offense that is the best in the country in terms of Ken Palm's offensive efficiency. They lead the Big Ten in scoring, field goal percentage, three-point percentage, rebounding margin, assists. I mean, you name it. And Michigan has done a very good job really carrying over the defensive momentum that they maintained Tuesday in Penn State.
Yeah, you really haven't seen a lot of that explosive Purdue scoring. I mean, Michigan came, you know, right out. I snapped my fingers. I highly doubt that got caught on the mic with how loud everyone's being. But, you know, they just came out and immediately they were explosive. They were big. They're making big shots. They're making big plays. And just consistently, you know, they're playing strong. They've looked very excellent. There's been very few moments where it felt like they were losing control. And whenever that happened, they would wise up and get back in focus, I think.
You mentioned that Michigan had an 8-point lead. Purdue rallied to tie it at 24, and then the Wolverines closed the half on a 14-5 run. So they weathered that first storm. Certainly won't be the only one they encounter in this one. They've got to keep the energy up. That was the big difference for me right from the jump. Came out with energy, an abundance of it. We're diving on the floor. We're feeding off this Chrysler Center crowd that is fired up themselves. They got to keep this going for 20 more minutes to get what would be their best victory of the year. This is a Michigan team teetering on the brim of that NCAA tournament bubble. They need quad one victories. This would be a massive one here at home.
This would be a really important resume builder. You look at, you know, recent games, bit of a struggle against Nebraska, bit of a struggle against Penn State, but as I always believe, an ugly win is still a win. And, you know, if you can win, no matter how, against this Purdue team, that really goes a long way towards building a resume for March Madness.
And this looks like the Michigan team that many of us expected to see for most of the season. That point, though, will be moot if the Wolverines can't compile 20 more minutes of what they did in the first half. They're done with moral victories. They'll tell you that for sure. About 16 seconds left here in halftime. Michigan up 38-29. A great first half performance against the third-ranked team in the country, the Purdue Boilermakers, alongside Ryan Dolson. I'm Jared Greenspan. We'll have all your second half action here from the Chrysler Center in what's shaping out to be a really good one.
I can't wait. Let's get started already. Woo! Of course, they know right how to get the crowd right back into it. The Maze Rage, the marching band, everybody going nuts.
The crowd has showed out. Don't tell anyone that this was a 9 o'clock tip. They have all the energy for this one. So both teams are taking the floor right now. Purdue in its road blocks. Zach Edey, as we mentioned, limited to just 4 minutes in the first half due to foul trouble. He's back out there alongside Sasha Stefanovic, Mason Gillis, Jaden Ivey, and Eric Hunter. And then for Michigan, it's the normal five: Devonte Jones, Eli Brooks, Caleb Houston, Moussa Diabate, and Hunter Dickinson. It'll be Purdue ball out of the halftime. 20 more minutes to play in this one. Michigan looking to complete the upset and secure a much-needed victory for its depleted NCAA tournament resume. It'll be Purdue ball. Mason Gillis inbounds to Jaden Ivey. He takes it left to right, and here we go. Ivey handles up top with the left hand, pushes on the left wing for Stefanovic. Give to the point for Gillis, swings right side, Ivey. Ivey has an Edey screen if he wants it, slips it, lowers the shoulder down the left alley, toss back right side, Gillis. Catch and shoot for three. It's an air ball. Ivey trying to save it, he can't. Out of bounds and going to Michigan.
That was beautifully played. You want to, defensively, they went out there. They could not get open. They could not get any good looks. Forced Purdue to take a three that player was not prepared for.
19:40 left here in this game. Devonte Jones carries right to left down the near side for Michigan. He played a nice first half with 6 points. Has it high in the wing around the Diabate screen, pushes up top for Dickinson. Passed up a three, given the left wing. Jones curls to the point, works his way down the alley. Floater in a crowd, left it short. Edey lost the rebound. Dickinson has it in the pocket. Dickinson doubled, trying to work his way out of it, and that's a double dribble.
Sometimes when you're getting double teamed like that, you're looking for the open man and just slips your mind.
Only the 4th turnover of the game for the Wolverines. Purdue back the other way, the second possession for the Boilermakers of the second half, 45 seconds in. 38-29, Michigan up top. Hunter fires to the far side corner, Ivy, and he overshoots Edey. Diabate has the loose ball. Jones right to left down the near side. Skip feed, cross court, Dickinson hands off Houston, pulls trigger on a 3. Ringer up, Caleb Houston buries a 3 ball, and Michigan's lead is up to 12.
Beautiful. I mean, they got Purdue playing scared. They got Purdue playing desperate.
70 seconds into the second half, Gillis tries the answer on the right wing 3, rims out. Edey the board underneath, and he's fouled on the floor. Dickinson and Houston both in there with the 7'4" big man. And the foul is going to go on Houston. That's his first personal.
You got Purdue making ugly passes. You got Purdue taking threes that they really have no business taking. This is exactly what Michigan needs.
Stefanovic has it in the near side corner, drops it off for Edey. Dickinson fronts it, fight for the ball. Edey, Dickinson on the floor. The 2 7-footers going at it. It's a jump ball, and the arrow's going down to Michigan.
I got to tell you, I can barely hear you speak of how loud this crowd is being. They are into it. I mean, what wouldn't they be? Purdue has yet to score this half. This is, with how explosive I think they tried to come out in this half, this is definitely not the first few possessions they wanted. An
inspired performance so far for the Wolverines, up by 12, 18:35 left in the second half. Devonte Jones right to left, pushes along the left wing for Brooks, curls around the Dickinson screen, gets to the foul line. Up fakes underneath, drops up in the pocket. Dickinson's J pops out, and Edey snares the rebound. Third board for Edey. Hunter in a hurry down the left alley. Stops on a dime, kicks out left side, Ivy. Ivy draws Brooks on a switch, pulls back beyond the arc. Ivy on the crossover, tees up a step back 3, and he sticks it. Jaden Ivey rings in his first triple of the game, and Purdue cuts the deficit to 9, 18:05 to play.
Purdue has had a bit of a struggle with threes today. That was only their second for 12. Eventually they got to go in, but I think it's really going to depend on how Michigan responds on this drive.
Diabate has it on the right wing, give to the point for Dickinson. Back to the basket, now pivots to face the cup, fires left side for Jones. Jones pass to Dickinson in the corner, he's doubled immediately, works his way out of it. Cross court feed on the right wing, Houston tries another catch and shoot. That one's in and out, Diabate the side pocket board. Diabate backdoor Jones in a crowd, drops it off. Dickinson blocked by the rim but fouled, went up for the slam, and that's number 3 on Zach Edey. His hands are above his head, he can't believe it.
He is in disbelief. This is brilliant game strategy by Coach Beeline.
Coach Howard.
What did I say?
Coach Beeline.
Oh no!
But I'm sure he would concur with you.
Yeah, I do this all the time.
Well, so Zach Edey played just 4 minutes in the first half due to foul trouble, and he's about to come out here. Dickinson knocks down the first free throw. 41-32. 42-32 now, rather.
Yeah. This is, I really I'm almost kind of in disbelief right now with just how amazing this team is playing. It is.
Second free throw good by Dickinson. He knocks down a pair. 43-32. Edey's out of the ball game. Trayvon Williams is in. Hunter left to right down the middle, working with Brooks up top. Michigan in a bit of a 2-3 zone. Hunter angles right. Michigan's lead is 11. Ivy catches at the elbow, gets inside, picks up his dribble, working with Dickinson, forces it up. That's going to be a 3-second violation. Michigan's defense swarming and suffocating, and the ball going back to the Wolverines.
You got the Boilermakers making a lot of really sloppy mistakes this half. Like I said earlier, it really feels like they're playing desperate, and I think a lot of these turnovers are results of it.
17 minutes to play here in the game. Michigan with the 11-point lead. Jones over his shoulder, left side Houston. Entry feed, left corner Dickinson. Facing Williams, Dickinson jab steps, he's doubled, lowers the shoulder, goes up strong, left it short. Rebound, pin balls, and it's flagged down in the near side corner by Gillis. Ivy left to right, striding down the middle, goes all the way to the cup, layout won't go, but he's fouled. Jaden Ivey going full court, full steam ahead, and he gets to the cup in a hurry. So 2 free throws upcoming for Jaden Ivey. That's number 2 on Diabate. Ivy, a 74% free throw shooter on the year. 3 of 4 from the stripe tonight.
He's been very little free throw shooting on both sides this game, actually.
First one upcoming for Ivy is good. If Purdue is going to complete a comeback here, Jaden Ivey is going to play a big part. Projected as a lottery pick in the upcoming NBA draft. Averaging 18 points per game on the year. Bends his knees, fires on the second, and knocks it down. 16 points on the evening so far for Ivy. Michigan's lead is 9, 16:45 to play.
He would certainly make a great addition to any NBA team, I feel.
Jones around the Dickinson screen, gets downhill to the foul line, picks up his dribble, tosses it out right side for Brooks. Brooks with Ivy, finds Dickinson at the high post. Williams nearly stole the ball, drops it off at the end line for Brooks. Shut off on the baseline, back out Hunter. Lines up a right wing three, left it short. Rebound, Karam's out to Dickinson. Underneath finds Diabate, working with Gillis. Lowers the right shoulder across the lane, drops it off for Hunter, couldn't catch it cleanly. Scrum for the ball again, Dickinson and Hunter. And it's Hunter away for it for Purdue.
Purdue playing very aggressive on defense there.
Hunter tosses back for Gillis, straight on three, the trailer too strong. Brooks had the rebound and then got clobbered from behind by Mason Gillis. Overzealous in his pursuit of the loose ball.
Looked like it hurt, and he's taking an extra second on the floor there, but thankfully has been helped up quite easily.
Brooks a little slow to get up, peels himself off the hardwood. 16:02 to play in the second half. Next whistle will take us to the under 16 timeout. Michigan was up 9 at the half. They're up 9 now, 43-34.
Michigan's definitely got to keep up this momentum. You know, Purdue's playing more intense defense, but I think that leaves a lot more room for mistakes.
Dickinson, a left wing three, rims in! Oh, that's what they call a home court bounce for Hunter Dickinson. Three ball, number 3 on the evening, and Michigan's up by 12.
Just like I said, Purdue plays a bit more aggressive, and that gives Hunter that 1 second to make a beautiful three.
Ivy in the far side corner attacks Houston off the bounce, gets inside, tough layup is good. Jaden Ivey, a crowd silencer. Purdue within 10, 46-36, 15:23 left to play. Jones carries right to left down the middle. Dickinson leading the way with 17 points for the Wolverines. Jones with Ivey high at the block end. Dribbling with the left hand, angles a shade towards the left. 12 on the shot clock. Jones got to make a move. Gets a high screen from Diabate. Curls right. Pocket feed for Musa. Oh! He stuffs it home. A left-handed rim rocker for Musa Diabate.
This team just giving everybody something to cheer about tonight. What a beautiful dunk.
Michigan's up 12. Under 15 to play. Hunter corrals at the block end. Looking for a teammate. Gets it to Caleb First at the point. First, hounded by Houston. Left side feed goes to Stefanovic, working with Brooks. Pass on the left wing, Williams attacks Dickinson. Williams spinning baseline, stops, pops, floater, rims out. Jones snatches the miss. Here come the Wolverines. Jones pushing right to left on the far side. Scoots by Williams, takes it to the cup. The floater is good. Off the window it goes for Devonte Jones. Michigan's up 14, 14:24 to play, and Chrysler is rocking.
Getting louder and louder with every possession. Something is not right with Purdue tonight. I can tell you that. I think they really were not expecting such an aggressive Michigan team.
This is the largest lead of the game for the Wolverines, up by 14. They have not taken their foot off the gas pedal, and what a tremendous game Devonte Jones is having so far. 8 points, 4 boards, 4 assists, just 1 turnover, very fluid. He just looks in control, and that was evident there on that fast break, taking it coast to coast, knew exactly what he wanted to do.
And the marching band, I learned this last time I broadcast. The marching band now playing the classic, the Blues Brothers classic, I Can't Turn You Loose. What better way to get the crowd even more electrified than they previously were? I don't think there's a single quiet seat in the house. Everybody up on their feet.
They are standing in Chrysler Center, 50-36. Michigan's lead is 14.
You said this is the Michigan's biggest lead. This is the biggest lead of the game, period. Has Purdue ever been up? I really do not know.
Purdue had a 2-point lead. That was just 73 seconds into the game. Some quick math there. They were at 4-2. It's been all Wolverines since. This is the Michigan team that we all expected to see.
Absolutely.
When the season started. It has not materialized whatsoever, but plenty of chances for the Wolverines to make amends and turn around their season. It starts tonight. A win over Purdue would do wonders to their NCAA tournament resume.
This is the confident win the team needs. You win this one, and suddenly it's like, hey, we can beat Michigan State, we can beat Ohio State, we can beat Iowa. We can hang with those guys.
Michigan currently sits 7th in the conference, a half game behind 6th place Rutgers. Purdue, meanwhile, in a tie for first with Illinois and Wisconsin. These two teams, of course, played just a few days ago on Saturday in West Lafayette. The Wolverines hung with the Boilermakers wire to wire. An 82-76 victory for Purdue. Michigan never led. Tonight has been a different story. Purdue just with that 4-2 lead. It's been all Wolverines, 50-36, the score right now. 14-24 to play.
It is really, especially in this half, anytime that Purdue looks to maybe have an answer, the Wolverines shut it down pretty quickly.
And they're going to need to keep that foot on the gas pedal with the team as dangerous as the Boilermakers, capable of getting hot at any second.
This is, previous games, you rely on hot players like Hunter Dickinson to really carrying the team. Seems a little rude, but that was occasionally the case.
Yes.
But this whole team has really been on fire. Everybody's playing their part. Really does not feel like there's a weak link in the chain right now.
That is exactly what we're seeing tonight, a team-wide inspired performance. No one is carrying anyone, and that's why Michigan is up 14 with 14:24 to play. Purdue is on the floor just waiting for Michigan to exit its huddle. Looks like the Boilermakers are going to bring back out Zach Edey, who's marred in foul trouble with 3, has only played 7 minutes. Stefanovic, Ivy, Caleb First, and Isaiah Thompson out there as well.
Very risky move to bring him in, like you said, in foul trouble, but for Purdue, I really don't know how many options they have. That's a necessary risk that you just have to take.
Michigan out on the floor as well. Hunter Dickinson will take a seat. Brandon Johns re-enters. So it's Jones, Brooks, Houston, Diabate, and Johns, and Houston, a crucial stretch upcoming for Michigan, up by 14. But Dickinson is out, and Zach Edey is in. We'll see how the Wolverines can weather this one. Isaiah Thompson across down the middle, left to right. Angles far side, give for Stefanovic. Here comes Edey with Diabate. Goes for the right-handed hook, and it rims out. He missed from point blank, and Brandon Johns clears it.
You certainly got to wonder if he's feeling a little rattled. He's, in deep foul trouble, really has not played too much, and really hasn't made much of a difference for this Purdue team in general. Michigan has had the response for him.
Hard to gain any continuity sitting on the bench. Brooks curls right, gets inside, and hammered back from behind. Jaden Ivey with the block. Sends it into the front row of seats. That's going to bring us to a media timeout. Going right back to the bench. 13:55 to play. Score still the same, 50-36. The Wolverines with the 14-point lead.
Got a little, I think a little too confident with that dunk attempt there, but thankfully it is still going to be Michigan ball.
It's what you like to see, though, for the Wolverines, that sort of action attacking the paint. Brooks slicing through the lane rather than staying stagnant on the perimeter. And we've seen that from Michigan's offense all night long tonight. Wolverines shooting 49% from the field. They're 5 of 11 from 3. They've cashed in on all 3 free throws. Really no offensive blemishes, just 5 turnovers, and that's why they have 50 points with 13:55 still to go in this ballgame.
Absolutely. They're playing with a confidence that I really have not seen from them in a while, since really the beginning of the season.
This is the beginning of a stretch for the Wolverines in which they'll face 6 ranked teams in their final 9 games of the season. A daunting schedule, but it's two-faced because there's also plenty of chances to secure a much-needed quad 1 win, of which the Wolverines have just one of. That came earlier this year in a convincing road victory in Bloomington against the Hoosiers.
Yeah, this is really the game where I think you need to regain that confidence. This is the game that you really need a big win. You need the whole team to come together and get that motivation. I keep saying confidence, but this is a team that is absolutely confident, and they are going to need that going into, like you said, that tough schedule coming up ahead.
And the confidence is definitely showing, not just as a team, but every player who touches the ball on the court just looks confident in what they're doing. That's something we definitely haven't seen throughout the season, especially with a roster of young players and a lot of moving parts. a team that hasn't always looked comfortable. Tonight, though, is the complete opposite.
For sure. The Wolverines in previous games really made a lot of sloppy mistakes. Really, would get some ugly turnovers, some unwise, decisions. And you're really seeing none of that in this game. This is like a completely different Wolverine team.
50-36 the score. We're at the under 16 media timeout. 13:55 to play. The Wolverines currently with their largest lead. Purdue's led by 2. That was way back when in the opening minutes. It's been all Michigan
feels
ever
like
since.
Feels like a lifetime ago.
So both teams in their huddles. 2 timeouts basically stacked on top of each other here.
Yeah, it can be a little difficult. It can be,
It's probably the opposite of what Michigan wants with the way they're playing and the energy they have. They just want to get out on the court.
Oh, yeah.
So if I'm to speculate, I say this works in Purdue's favor. We'll see if the Boilermakers can capitalize on it.
Gives Purdue a chance to hopefully draft up a new game plan. See if they can get something working that just was not working previously.
Both teams are breaking the huddles here. We'll see who comes out for the Wolverines. It's going to be Jones, Brooks, Houston, Johns, and Dickinson. So Dickinson had a brief spell. Now it's Diabate's turn to take a seat. Meanwhile, the Boilermakers rolling out Thompson, Stefanovic first, Ivy, and Edie, the same 5 that were on the floor before the timeout. It's Michigan basketball underneath their own basket. Devonte Jones puts things into motion, drops it underneath Johns, slicing through, and he missed the layup. Can't convert. A beautiful inbounds play. Purdue the other way. Ivy down the middle. Angles left, working with Jones. Now pulls back beyond the arc. Ivy attacks down the right alley. He slithers, hangs, sent back by Dickinson. And Brooks grabs it, and Ivy is slow to get up. Michigan the other way, 5-on-4. Jones left wing. Brooks wide open for 3. He's got it. Ringer up for Eli Brooks, and Michigan leads by 17.
Literally the last thing I'm sure Purdue wanted. Ivy slow to get up. Can't get back to the defense in time, and allows Michigan to make a wide open 3.
Edie on the left block leads it to Dickinson with the right shoulder, spins back to his left, hooks it up off glass, won't go. Rebound, pinballs to Dickinson.
As I said, I think this is all getting to Edie's head. He really cannot get anything going out there for the Boilermakers, and previously he was such a playmaker.
Jones on the right wing, directing traffic high on that side, working with Caleb first. Jones drops it inside for Johns in the pocket with Stefanovic. Leans in with the right shoulder. Edie brings a double. Johns out right side Jones. Skip feed left wing Houston. Houston catch and shoot from the corner. Rims out. Strong side board for Edie. That might have brought the house down.
Absolutely. I would have.
Stefanovic on the other end buries a straightaway 3. An answer for Purdue's marksman. And the Boilermakers draw within 14. 12.5 to play.
Purdue absolutely needed that. They were getting a little cold and seemingly frustrated with their inability to score lately.
Jones into the forecourt, curls left, shut off at the block, loops out left wing for Houston. Pass to the point, Dickinson, handoff Houston, curls right down the alley, gets inside, in the crowd, layup won't go. Dickinson taps it to Johns, watch out! Brandon Johns throws it down, and Michigan's up 16, 12:05 to play.
You love to see it. It's almost like the players are having just as much fun as the fans are.
First, high on the left wing, working with Brooks. Give to the point for Ivy at the lip of the block end. Pushes left side Stefanovic. Saw some daylight, can't hit a 3. And the side pocket board on the strong side goes to Johns. Jones right to left down the far side with Thompson. Gets a high screen from Johns, curls left. Jones down the alley, weaves inside, layup, won't go, but he's fouled. Isaiah Thompson whacked him on the way up. We're at the under 12 timeout. 11:41 to play. It's all Wolverines again. I feel like a broken clock.
I was about to say the exact same thing. I feel like a broken record. I'm saying all the same things. You got Purdue making desperate shots that are not going in. You know, Michigan players getting double teamed, but find somebody wide open and they make a beautiful dunk, beautiful 3, beautiful whatever. This has been all Wolverines.
55-39 is the score. That is the largest. Not the largest lead. The Wolverines have led by 17. It's the second largest, the 16-point advantage. All Michigan, as we keep on saying, we'll run through the stats quickly for you here. Hunter Dickinson leads the way with 17 and 8. Musa Diabate with 15. Houston and Jones with 8 apiece. And then Brooks with 5 and Johns with 2. A balanced score sheet Everyone contributing, everyone chipping in. 14 assists on 23 made baskets. Michigan has 32 points in the paint. They're 6 of 13 from 3. The offense just percolating, and it's been that way since the opening tip.
Yeah, absolutely. There have been very few moments where it felt that Michigan's offense was getting a little cold. Very few times where it feels Purdue's defense had an answer for this Wolverines offense. And every single time it feels they do, Michigan swaps up the game plan. They find another hole. They find something to work.
And on the flip side, Jaden Ivey, Trayvon Williams, and Zach Edey, a trio that combines for 52% of Purdue's scoring and decimated Michigan through 55 points when the teams last clashed on Saturday. They haven't done that same amount of damage so far tonight. They've got 31 points combined as the three of them, certainly a respectable total, but Michigan's really been able to keep them in check, and they've been able to limit the other options that the Boilermakers have. Stefanovic just made his first 3 of the game. Mason Gillis has 2, and Ethan Morden has 3. Just 8 points from 3 players not named. Williams, Edey, and Ivey. That's not going to cut it.
Yeah, you know, Edey came in to start out the half. They were really probably hoping he'd make a difference, but he has not gotten a single point since coming out.
He's been completely neutralized in both halves, a product of strong defense from Dickinson and foul trouble on Edey's part. The 7'4" big man has 3 fouls on the evening and hasn't really been able to play, just 9 minutes on the night.
Yeah, you got to wonder, you know, I said this, I think, right at the start of the half, but you got to wonder, he's got to be getting frustrated with just how much Michigan's defense has had an answer for him and how little playtime he's getting, and now that he's finally coming out, he just can't get anything to go. He has had several very good opportunities for layups and, you know, short shots in the paint, but they all just seem to roll out.
And you mentioned frustration. You have to think it's seeping in for Purdue as well, down 16. This isn't a team accustomed to those deficits. They've lost just 3 games on the year. They lost by 3 in Bloomington to Indiana. They lost on the buzzer to Rutgers and Piscataway. This just isn't a team accustomed to these deficits and accustomed to losses.
No, you really got to wonder how they're going to respond with Michigan being in such dominating control. 16-point lead. It was a 17-point lead earlier. They're really not used to being down by this much. And it was a 9-point lead on halftime, and Purdue has done the opposite of carving into a deficit. And now Devonte Jones at the stripe for 2 more. Michigan's point guard got fouled on the other side of the timeout. He's a 76% free throw shooter from the line on the season. Whatever.
And that one rims out. His first free throw of the evening, no good.
Whatever halftime adjustments, you said it was only a 9-point game at half. Whatever halftime adjustments the Boilermakers have made, clearly not working. Second free throw for Jones is good, and the lead back up to 17. That ties the largest of the game. All 5 starters in for Michigan. Meanwhile, for Purdue, it's Ivey first, Stefanovic, Thompson, and Edey. Michigan deploying a bit of a full-court press. Purdue trying to break it, gets it into Edey at the block end, pushes right side Thompson. Now they were across, and they'll settle up top with Jaden Ivey. Ivey angles left, Michigan in the 2-3 zone. Thompson to the point, back left wing goes to Ivey. Ivey matched up with Brooks, 10 to shoot already. Thompson on the right side catches, waits for the first screen, curls, a burst of speed, the jump stop, kick out left side, Stefanovic, 5 to shoot. Stefanovic off the bounce, gets inside, the runner won't go, Edey the miss, and there's that 7'4" presence. Gathers in the offensive rebound and hammers home the follow. You got to notice that whenever Purdue's scoring, they're not quick points. Michigan basically made them use the entire shot clock before rifling off an ugly shot, and then Edey, of course, with the incredible rebound. Jones up top for Michigan, gets a high screen, curls left, kicks it, tried to flip it back to Dickinson, but that's going to be a backcourt violation. He lost the handle. One of the rare sloppy mistakes we've seen on the evening for both Devonte Jones and Michigan as a team. Michigan does maintain a 15-point lead, 10 minutes, 47 seconds left. And here's Matt Painter, down 15, throwing a wrinkle. Trayvon Williams and Zach Edey do not share the court together often. One starts, the other relieves him. They are both on the floor now. That's 7'4" Edey and 6'10", 255-pound Williams. A load for Dickinson and Diabate to deal with. Let's see if that can spark Purdue. Williams catches the ball at the foul line. High-low, it goes to Edey. Lowers the right shoulder, forces it up off glass, and banks it in.
And Purdue all of a sudden within 13.
Very smart strategy. It was a very bold one, I'm sure, but I can definitely already see the sparks of something seemingly bigger for
Eli Brooks curls after the Dickinson screen and nearly threw it away. Stefanovic got a hand on the pass on the left wing, knocked it out of bounds. It'll stay with Michigan with 14 on the shot clock. Caleb Houston to inbound on the near side. Looking, searching, gets it in high on the left wing for Jones. Jones with Thompson, 10 to shoot. Jones gets a high screen from Dickinson, moves on the left wing, flips left side for Hunter. Hunter works the baseline on Edey. The runner hooks it in. Tough taken to make on the dribble drive for the 7-footer. And Michigan's back up 15, 10:05 to play.
Beautiful look for Hunter there. That is going to be 21 points on the day for him, I believe.
He's got 19.
19, excuse me.
Thompson carries.
Getting a little ahead of myself.
Thompson left to right across the timeline. Gets it back from Ivy. Drops to the foul line for Williams. And a whistle and a foul underneath. It's going to go on Dickinson, I believe, against Edey. That's foul number 2 on Hunter.
Frustrating to see, to say the least. Really feels this Purdue offense is starting to get something going here, but, you know, under 10 minutes left. Michigan's offense.
Stefanovic finds Williams underneath, met at the rim by Diabate, but a foul is called. And then for good measure, someone, I believe Devonte Jones, just banked in a half-court shot that won't count. But Michigan fell asleep on the inbounds. More importantly, Trayvon Williams snuck free. Moussa Diabate with a late, great closeout that clipped Trayvon Williams on the arm. So Purdue's second big man to the stripe for a pair. Williams just a 58% free throw shooter on the year. He's 0 of 1 from the stripe tonight.
There's a man you want on the line for Michigan.
Snaps the net on the first. Makes us eat our words for now.
Yeah. That was a beautiful block, though. I think that's a necessary, you know, evil, I suppose, to stop him from making that kind of dunk, because that's the kind of points that can really get a Purdue team going. One
more upcoming for the big man. Williams bends his knees, knocks it down. How about a perfect trip of the line for a 58% free throw shooter?
Was not expecting that.
58-45, Michigan on top, under 10 to play. Eli Brooks drops it off right side for Moussa Diabate. Michigan looking to wrap up what would be a huge upset. Jones working to the point, tosses left side Hunter, tried to find Diabate underneath. Williams got his hands on it to bat it back out of bounds. It'll stay with the Wolverines with 12 to shoot.
I don't really like him taking that three. I really don't think he had a good look at it, but thankfully he gets to stay with the Wolverines.
I think he was looking for Diabate underneath, passed up the three. Diabate in the corner, tosses out high on the left wing for Jones, dangerous pass, finds Houston curling up top, fakes the handoff, moves left, drops it into the corner. Brooks got to go, he heaves, he hits! Ringer up for Eli Brooks. Huge three in the corner to push the lead back to 16.
Exactly what this Michigan team needed. You're getting a little nervous that maybe Purdue's getting back into this one, and that three lets them know who's in charge.
Morden on the right wing drops it off to the elbow for Williams with Houston face guarding him. Williams jab steps, lowers the left shoulder, spinning into the lane, double, shovels it off. There's Edey lurking on the back line, and he does the rest with a two-handed slam.
Edey is certainly starting to make a difference for this Purdue team.
Edey.
I'm sure they were Edey.
Yes.
Pardon.
Up to 9 points now on the evening. Dickinson catches up top. Michigan's lead is 14 with 8.5 to play. Dribble handoff with Brooks, curls right. Brooks down the alley, the runner, got it. Eli Brooks, floater in stride, and Michigan keeps answering Purdue's punches.
Absolutely. Purdue is definitely hoping to get something going, and
that runner from Ivy off the glass, no good. Dickinson clears, up ahead for Jones, left side, Brooks, catch and shoot for three, got it! Ringer up for Eli Brooks. Purdue's calling a timeout. Michigan's up 19, 66-47. That's the largest lead of the game. And the Wolverines are beginning to run the Boilermakers out of Chrysler Center.
Holy cow, this is insane. This Michigan team looks incredible tonight. You know, Purdue is finally starting to get some responses on offense, and Michigan able to respond in kind every single time.
The Wolverines 8 of 15 from beyond the arc, and it's Eli Brooks' turn to scintillate. He's got 8 straight points for Michigan, and the Wolverines have opened up a 19-point lead. Matt Painter seemed as if he was attempting one last-ditch effort to spark the Boilermakers. He paired Trayvon Williams with Zach Edey. It's worked on the offensive end, but on defense, Purdue is hapless to slow down the Wolverines. Nothing is stopping Michigan tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, they're Edey starting to get some good layups, getting some good close-in shots, but defensively, they just cannot. They just can't stop. I really don't know what else to say. I feel like a broken record because I've said it so many times, but Purdue just cannot stop this Michigan offense. 19 for Dickinson, 15 for Diabate, 13 for Brooks, 9 for Jones, 8 for Houston. It's possible that all 5 starters wind up in double figures, and I think that, if anything, reflects the team, the balance tonight from this Michigan team. Finish the lyric on the big screen for this. They could put anything up there, and this crowd would love it. Absolutely. They're playing Justin Bieber's Baby. Right now they've got Crazy in Love by Beyonce. Can you finish the lyric? I probably could. All right. Let's see if she can, though. Looking so crazy in love. I did know that one. I think she messed it up, but they're going to give it to her. That's just the giving mood we're in tonight. Yeah. Inside Chrysler Center. Yeah. Why bring her and the crowd down? You know, just give it close enough. Close enough. 66-47 the score here. Thanks for listening to WCBS Sports. Alongside Ryan Dolson, I'm Jared Greenspan. It's been all Wolverines tonight. Michigan stick to a 19-point lead with 8:13 to play. They've made their last 5 field goals. All Wolverines, and I think we just keep coming back to it every timeout. There's really nothing else to say. Yeah, we're getting a lot of media timeouts due to this game being nationally televised, nationally broadcasted, and it really is hard to come up with other things to say other than, wow, this Michigan team. Offensively, they have been unstoppable. It's hard to overstate the importance of a victory tonight, of what that would mean to this Michigan team. Absolutely. Like I said, this really opens the door. This gives the team the confidence to go, hey, you know, we can crush Purdue. That means we can hang with Michigan State, who they do have later on in the schedule at Chrysler. Ohio State coming up on Saturday. Michigan has loads of opportunities ahead of them in terms of notching victories that will bolster what is currently a bare bones resume come tournament time. Sure. And if they can start getting something together, stacking victories, they have chances. They've got a lot of these games at home as well. This is their first ranked team to come to Chrysler Center this year, and Purdue has learned a lesson tonight. Absolutely. You know, Purdue's offense is finally starting to get some things going, but defensively, they still can't stop this Wolverine offense, and the deficit just gets bigger and bigger, really. Both teams are out of the huddle. 66-47. Michigan with a 19-point lead, 8:10 to play. Michigan with the full court press again. Eric Hunter, left to right, hounded in the backcourt by Diabate. Gets it across barely on the right side for Morden. Morden searching, pitches back for Hunter, high on that right side. He's working with Jones. Shot clock already down to 11. Curls left, works around the Edey hedge. Runner won't go. Rebound comes to Brooks. Here comes Michigan. Brooks in a hurry. Left side for Jones. Jones, cross-court right wing. Houston lines up a 3. Yes, sir! Ring it up for Caleb Houston. Was there ever any doubt? They cannot miss from beyond the arc, it feels. Purdue leaving them wide open, and the lead has swelled to 22. I think the Chrysler Center crowd here is in a bit of disbelief. Williams up top, takes Diabate off the bounce, pulls up, 8-foot floater, rims off, rebound underneath, goes to Brooks. Feels like the roof could explode off this place. Brooks on the right wing drops into the pocket for Diabate. With Williams, jab steps, now rises, 8-footer, too strong. Rebound, Karams on the near side, it's flagged down by Hunter. 7 minutes left in the half. Hunter looking to steady Purdue. Down 22, Hunter turns the corner, gets to the rack, the runner, off glass is good, counted on a foul. And Eric Hunter cracks the scoreboard for the first time tonight with 6:59 to play. Something finally going right for this Purdue team, feels like. Cuts Michigan's lead down to a measly 20. Potential to 19 with this free throw.
Eric Hunter is just a 65% free throw shooter, the 6'4" senior guard from Indianapolis. Coming off a 9.2 rebound game against Illinois on Tuesday. It's been quiet tonight though. Free throw off the heel and then it drops in. So Hunter gets that friendly road bounce and the lead is 19.
Under 7 minutes left to play.
Jones right to left down the middle. He's tracked by Ivy. Around the Dickinson screen, curls left, pitches on the wing for Brooks. Brooks calls off the Diabate screen, waits for a Hunter hedge, moves toward the point, drives right. He's shut off, pushes out left side. Jones into the pocket for Dickinson with 10. Facing Edey and Hunter is going to get called for steps.
Hate to see it. Really do hate to see it. But happens to the best of us.
69-50, 19-point lead, and Michigan's going to call a timeout. Not a ton of flow to this half. A lot of stops and starts.
For sure.
Nothing's affected Michigan, though.
Yeah, no, definitely. You worry every single time with the timeout. You worry, uh-oh, is this when Purdue's going to come out explosive? Is this when Michigan's going to get a little lethargic, get a little complacent? And it's just not happening.
So Michigan's up 19-69 to 50. The Wolverines have canned 6 of their last 7 from the field. They've really never taken their foot off the gas pedal in this one from the jump. Came out hot, stayed hot, and Purdue has been kept at arm's length since they tied the game at 24. It's been all Wolverines.
Yeah, for sure. You know, Michigan came into the lead up by 9, and you know they've got a 10-point advantage in this half. They're up by 19. Purdue's really got to get something to start working for them with 6.5 minutes roughly left.
6:38 to play. Michigan up 19. It'll be Purdue basketball out of the timeout. Boilermakers rolling with Morton, Hunter, Edey, Stefanovic, and Jaden Ivey. Michigan, meanwhile, keeping its 5 starters on the floor. Hunter left to right, sheds Jones in the backcourt and brings it across the timeline. Handling at the top of the key, pushes left side for Stefanovic, dribble handoff with Ivy. Around the Edey screen to the foul line, kicks it out right side. Morton catch and fire on a 3. That's off the heel. Rebound back tap to Diabate, who snares it for Michigan. Wolverines can slow things down now. Time is their friend with 6:15 to play and a 19-point lead. Brooks up top, moves left, pitches back right side. Dickinson fakes a 3, rumbles inside, up with the left the runner short. And the rebound caroms to Hunter. Pushing left to right down the far side, giving the corner for Morton. Passed up a 3, attacks Brook off the bounce. The runner rims in.
That one is a nice little roll. Purdue manages to make a nice break offensively after getting that rebound and are able to get some points on the board.
Dangerous pass up top from Diabate. Hunter got a hand on it. Jones goes crashing into the scorer's table and peels himself off the hardwood. It'll be a foul on Hunter. 69-52, Michigan leads by 17 with 5:45 to play.
I'm currently being handed a stat. Purdue's losses so far entering this game had been by combined 10 points, and currently they're down by 17.
Might very well surpass that. Diabate, his turn for a left wing 3, in and out. Musa had to try his luck the way things have been falling tonight. Ivy peels on the left wing, working with Jones. Cross-court feed, Diabate got a hand on it. Morton corrals on the right wing, hands off Stefanovic at the block end. Tosses left side for Ivy, working with Jones. He'll pull up for a deep 3. That's too strong. And Caleb Houston grabs the right elbow rebound.
5:20 left in the game. Michigan ball up by 17, 69-52.
Jones works his way across, kicks it left corner. Houston open for another 3. You betcha! Ring it up. Caleb Houston laces in another. He's got 4 3-pointers on the evening, and Michigan's up 20 again.
Every single time you think, you know what, I think Michigan's gotten enough 3s tonight. They proved me wrong.
Edey lowers the shoulder with Dickinson across the lane. Stripped by Dickinson. Diabate has the steal. And that's the effort for Hunter Dickinson, up 20, battling with someone who is bigger than him, which is a rarity, and gets it done. Jones tosses right side Dickinson. Cross court Brooks, left corner 3. How about another? How about another? Ring that one up. 3s all around. You get a 3, you get a 3, you get a 3. Michigan's up 23.
How can you not stand up and cheer? There is not, apart from us, there's not a single butt in their seat right now.
The Wolverines are 11 of 19 from deep. Ivy dribbles it off his foot, corrals high on the left wing, around the Edey screen, gets to the lane. Runner, that's an offensive foul. Musa Diabate stands in to draw the charge. That kind of night for Purdue and that kind of night for Michigan.
Reality really beginning to set in for this Purdue team. I'm sure they constantly thought, well, if we do this, if this goes right for us, if this goes right for us, we could be right back in. But 4 minutes, 15 seconds left, down by 23. This Chrysler Center.
Just listen to this crowd.
Oh.
75-52, 4:10 to play. Jones hops right to left, works his way across the timeline along the near side, slips the Dickinson screen. Back for Dickinson. Here we go. That's good! Are you kidding me?
They cannot miss
Hunter
from three.
Dickinson, ring it up again.
It's not even fair.
And Michigan is up 26 over the third-ranked team in the country in the Purdue Boilermakers.
I don't think anybody can say they predicted this going into this game. If you did, you are a liar or a time traveler.
Edey underneath is just bear hugged by Hunter Dickinson. They might call that one a flagrant and say it's a non-basketball play. We'll see what the rule is, but nothing can stop the party inside Chrysler Center right now. The Wolverines out of nowhere are 12 of 20 from beyond the arc. That's 60%. They just can't miss.
You got to compare Purdue. Only 3 from 17 from beyond the arc. That's really going to hurt you in the long run. Purdue, 0 points in the last 2 minutes, 19 seconds. Michigan on a 9-0 run the last minute and a half.
Michigan's going to have to stop making threes because I think I'm out of calls.
Yeah.
78-52. Wolverines up a whopping 26 with 3:40 to play.
I mean, what is there even to say?
I don't know.
I really don't even know what to say. I'm seeing a lot of, I'm seeing a lot of smiling faces in this crowd. Have people up on their feet, loud as humanly possible.
A welcome sign for a Michigan basketball program that has sputtered and stalled and been such a disappointment for the first 4 months of the season. It feels like ages ago that this team entered the year with such optimism and hopes were so high. Final Four aspirations, national championship hopes, and that was all dashed. Deflating loss after deflating loss. And here we are, the Wolverines, as the calendar turns to February, and the season reaches a crucible with March Madness looming ever so close. Michigan needed a win that would bolster their tournament resume, and they answered emphatically tonight, leading 78-52 against the third-ranked team in the country.
This is a team-defining win. This is a win that you look at for the rest of the season, one for the players to hang their cap on and say, we can beat anybody. We took the number 3 team on in the country, and we absolutely dominated them for basically a full game. This is the kind of win that gives your team confidence. This is the kind of win where you look back on and you say that was, that was the turning point of the season.
Juwan Howard has talked about playing 40 minutes as a team, a complete 40 minutes. The Wolverines have had good halves, not good games. This is a full 40 minutes.
Absolutely. Really feels like Michigan can play this dominantly, for the rest of the season. It's really hard to think if there's any team that can stop them. And as we stated, 78-52, 26-point lead, 3 minutes and 40 seconds left. Mays Rage is loud as can be. Chrysler Arena on this late Thursday night, almost 11 p.m. And, does not feel like it. This place is absolutely hopping.
It does not feel like it's 10:48 at night, the way this crowd has been roaring.
Feels like the hottest club in the state. On the Route East weekend, but as we said,
Chrysler
late
Center,
on a Thursday.
The place to be tonight indeed. Michigan throttling the third-ranked Boilermakers, mercilessly up by 26.
Certainly cannot think of anywhere else I'd rather be right now.
So it'll be 2 free throws and the ball upcoming for Zach Edey. It was a flagrant foul on Hunter Dickinson, who just gave the 7'4" center a bear hug, and Edey clanks the first free throw off back iron. Just that kind of night for Purdue. And especially their big man, Edey, has been held to just 17 minutes. He's battled foul trouble. Swishes that one home, though. Cracks double figures there. He's got 10 points on the night. So it'll be Purdue ball underneath their own basket. Boilermakers inbound. They find Ivy in the left corner. Ivy hop steps in the lane, tied up from Dickinson, but a foul. Dickinson wanted a held ball. Instead, that's going to be
his 4th
on Hunter.
Dickinson really that foul before the half, before the timeout, and this one too. It really don't like. I think the refs are making the right call, and I really don't like Dickinson playing like that.
So free throws upcoming for Jaden Ivy.
He's getting a little too aggressive, but I mean, perhaps maybe a little too excited. It's hard not to be right now.
Musa Diabate re-enters. Terrence Williams takes the seat. The 5 starters still out there for Michigan. 3:38 to play. Wolverines up 25. 1-1 for Ivy. Too strong. Rebound flag down on the near wing by Brooks.
Michigan Wolverines definitely going to look at slowing things down. I would imagine on this drive.
Jones pushes right side Houston, swings in the corner for Brooks. Brooks back to the wing, give out the block M for Jones. Shot clock at 11. Jones high up top, working with Hunter. Around the screen, kicks back right side. Dickinson fires Brooks along the baseline. Wraparound feed, looking for Diabate. Tried to squeeze it in. Purdue knocked it out of bounds.
Going to be Michigan ball. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. They're going to have to get off something quick.
Terrence Williams checks back in for Diabate. Looks like it'll be Jones to inbound underneath the Michigan basket. Jones searching, still looking, tosses at the left block. Brooks, the pirouette and the right-handed hook drops home. Silky smooth underneath for Eli Brooks.
Lovely little roll around the ring there, going straight in. Gives Michigan 80 points on the night.
On a 27-point cushion. Hunter high on the left wing with Brooks, pass to the block M for Thompson. Thompson gives right side for Newman off the curl. Newman fakes, now launches a fadeaway. It's an air ball. Caroms off his own teammate and first out of bound, going to Michigan.
Starting to feel like Purdue just wants this one to be over. They really are not playing with the energy, with the fire that they've really been known for all season.
We're just crawling our way towards the inevitable right now with 2:40 to play and Michigan up 80-53. Devonte Jones handles high on the left wing, dribbling with the right hand. He's pressed by Thompson 40 feet from the basket. Jones backs up, he's straddling the timeline, just dribbling this one out. Shot clock down to 10, he'll make his move. Gets a high screen from Williams, curls around to Dickinson hedge, moves right, turns the corner, layup, no good, but he's fouled by Caleb First. And so 2 free throws upcoming for Devonte Jones. Jones has 9 points on the night. If he could cash in on just one here, all 5 Michigan starters will have scored in double figures on the evening.
Really just could not ask for a better showing from the starting lineup and from the team in general, really. This is exactly what they needed. They knew going up against the top 3 team, number 3 team, they're going to have to leave it all out on the court, and that's exactly what they've been doing.
Jones connects on the first. Rousing ovation is Adrian Nunez about to check into the ballgame here after the free throw. Second one for Jones is true. Nunez will enter, Jones will sit.
19-point lead yet again for the Wolverines.
11 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds in 31 minutes for Devonte Jones, who was in control throughout. Thompson on the left wing gives for Newman at the point, working with Nunez. Newman angles left, shadowed, kicks back for Morton. Pushes right side Thompson around the first screen, gets downhill, kicks back right side First. The southpaw lets it fly and snaps the net on the 3.
I don't know, that could be the wake-up call that Purdue needed.
Too little, too late in this one, under 2 to play. Michigan up 82-56. Brooks into the forecourt with a burst of speed along the near side. Dribbling with the right hand, and he'll call a timeout. Michigan will get the subs into this one. Jaron Faulds, Kobe Buffkin, Frankie Collins, and Ian Burns set to check in, but first, a well-deserved, rousing ovation for Michigan starters.
Absolutely. Full-on standing ovation, every single person up.
A fantastic performance. The starters accounted for 80 of Michigan's 82 points so far. That's 22 for Dickinson, 11 for Jones, 15 for Diabate, 14 for Houston, and 18 for Brooks.
Purdue did not have an answer all night defensively. They just could not stop the Wolverine offense.
Collins working up top with Thompson. Shot clock down to 8, gets a fouled screen, curls down the left alley, challenges first, hooks up a runner off the mark, falls with the back tap, and it's flagged down in the far side corner by Morton. Morton across down the middle, challenges Nunez, now peels back. Thompson for Hunter. Hunter lobs right side for first, leads into Falls, leans in with the left, up with the left, hooks it in. 70 seconds to play. Michigan up 82-58. It's going to be the second quad one victory of the year for the Wolverines, a win over the third-ranked team in the country. 60 seconds to play.
Michigan desperately needed this win. You really got to start building up your resume in time for March Madness. Lots of concern that team is on the wrong end of the bubble, but with a win like this, it really impresses the analysts, really impresses the powers that be, and gives the team a much needed confidence boost.
3 to shoot. Ian Burns on the right wing, jacks up a 3, in and out. Rebound for Newman.
Would have loved to see how the Maze Rage would have reacted if that one
I don't know if they would have known how to. Hunter, Newman up top. Newman fakes, got Buffkin in the air, hop steps into the lane, switches hands, lost it out of bounds, going to Michigan. And that about is going to do it. Shot clock turned off. Wolverines can dribble this one out. 21.5 seconds to play. Michigan is going to waltz off with this one with a rollicking 82-58 throttling of Purdue. Buffkin works his way across.
In my wildest dreams, I would not have imagined ever that Michigan would have had such a dominating display tonight. 24-point victory. I have to say it again to believe it.
82-58 is the final score inside Chrysler Center. Michigan throttles the third-ranked team in the country in the Boilermakers. A convincing victory all the way throughout. A semi-court storming erupting here on Chrysler Center.
Stormed.
The Maze Rage spilling out onto the court. Apropos for the dominant outing that the Wolverines compiled tonight. They pushed their record to 13-9, and perhaps this is a win that builds the season that we all envisioned this Michigan team having a few moons ago.
For sure. I definitely think this court storming is well deserved. It's getting bigger and bigger. It started off kind of small, but everybody's lining up to join in. I want to run down.
It looked as if they were hesitant at first and then said, screw it, for a win like this over the third-ranked Boilermakers.
They deserve it.
Let the court be stormed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Michigan, 82-58. The victors in this one over the third-ranked Boilermakers. A great one inside Chrysler Center. We'll be back here on the call Saturday at 6 p.m. over at WCBN2 for Michigan and Ohio State. We'll see if the Wolverines can parlay this into some sustained momentum. That's going to do it for our call tonight. Thanks so much, as always, for listening to WCBN Sports. For Ryan Dolson, I'm Jared Greenspan. Good night, and as always, go blue.